It seems more and more that there's no solution to the problem of being human. And by that I mean there's an illusion that we can perfect ourselves. There's an illusion that we can perfect our society. There's an illusion that it's going to be Star Trek and but better than Star Trek because Star Trek's sort of based on the Cold War. It's going to be even, we're going to figure this out. We are already enlightened beings. We are already one with unconditional love or whatever you call it. We all have that instinct, and the instinct gets covered over, but we're going to uncover it. We're going to find a way to bring about this kind of place where the kids are always safe and everybody's fed and you know most diseases can be prevented or dealt with and all that good stuff. And we're always elegant, and our sense of humor never falls flat, and we're never awkward. And yeah, there's some dream, there's some carrot dangling in front of us that there's going to be perfect relaxation when everything's just right. And you got to admire the attempt. You know, many have attempted it. French Revolution, Communist Revolution, U.S. Revolution, Intifada, Vietnamese, fighting against the imperialists, Che Guevara. Never quite ends up the way that one might hope, if one is me and has my sensibilities of for real liberty and justice for all. But I mean, at the same time, you have to think that Christianity would never have gotten such a strong foothold if there wasn't something deeply resonant in the teachings of Jesus or Yeshua, Joshua, son of man. If I mean, the Sermon on the Mount, man, it speaks to your bones. It really does. We all know we can't. We all understand that our societies aren't there yet. Maybe we're not there yet either. But there's a resonance, and it can be. I mean, you see actual Christians in the U.S., for example, the big mass of them doing the opposite. And same with the Constitution written by slaveholders, but all men are created equal, and women, one would hope, not at the time. But we supposedly the story that I told was we're getting there. We're getting there. We're going to perfect these instruments, and we're going to live up to our own ideals little by little. Arc of the universe bends toward justice, right? But and I can't speak for anyone else in their own context, their own beliefs, their own experience. I'm not just saying this in a moral relativism sense. It's more like we are all just shards of perspective, and there's no one here, no one among us who can adjudicate that. We try, and progress is made, relative progress is made. Um, but my point is, sorry to get there in a roundabout way, my point for me is trying to meddle directly in that might get nowhere and could backfire. And since I don't know the ultimate outcome of anything, all I'm left with is here and now. And here and now, the solution to the problem of humanity probably isn't some grand design or isn't me sticking my fingers in the right pie. And swirling it around and getting the outcome that I want. That's just probably not how it works. The only thing I have to work with is bodily sensations, instincts. I mean, I have my conditioning too, which we all do. We all have conditioning. And it's not going anywhere. It might, as the the kind of the worst of the frozen ball of emotional soup off gases or melts and kind of moves through. I might not be so reactive. Things might not be so charged. But my own preferences, predilections, whatever's left is still not going to be up to me. And I was telling a friend how I always kind of wished I was elegant, and I wish that, or I have an image in my head that if I get enlightened, I'll be very elegant. I won't be awkward anymore. I won't be weird. I won't be, all those things that got me in such trouble when I was a kid. I'll be able to command a room with my calm, collected benevolence. No idea if that's going to happen. It doesn't really matter that much because, I mean, even enlightened people, I mean, people who seem quite realized can be a bit awkward. And guess what? It happens and then it's done without a trace. If you keep the trace alive in your head with a judgment or something like that, then that's on you. Nothing to do with them. They've already left the woman at the edge of the river. From the parable of the two Buddhist monks who, one of them offered to carry a woman across the river and deposited her on the other bank, and they walked on, and the second monk was like, "Oh, how could you touch a woman? That's against our vows, blah, blah, blah." And the guy's like, "What are you talking about? I'm not holding any woman. You're the one holding stuff in your head right now." I love stories like that. Just turns everything on its head, but in such an instructive way. But yeah, this certainly not in my lifetime. Probably not in my kids' lifetimes. It's probably going to get pretty messy. I mean, it's already fucking messy. It's probably gonna reach deeper and deeper into more and more lives too. kind of fuck them up because we only seem to learn the hard way. And I kind of chuckle at all these people with the doomers and the preppers and the like, oh, I'm gonna have my compound with my guards and I'll be fine. It's like, yeah, as soon as the guards figure out that your money means nothing, good luck with that. Or yeah, it's just like that's as far as they can see is like, oh, I'm gonna have the food and I'm gonna have the guns and we'll be fine. It's like, will you though? Will that be a satisfying existence? It's like they're so scared to live right now that all they can think of is like another version of heaven, another version of, later when everything's perfected. Just gotta get there. Later when I'm the smart, I was proven right. I'm the smart one. I got all the stuff. Yeah, good luck with that. Um, you know, I I tend to think in that kind of scenario, it's a little bit of a mercy to go early. I also understand that even one good year on Earth is better than none. So I'm already a cosmic winner, even if everything goes down tomorrow. And so are my kids. I hesitated to have kids because of the state of the world, but in the end, it's like, well, even if they only get 5 and 7 years of a happy childhood, that's something. But yeah, it's like this balagan, that's a Hebrew word for like fucking mess. I'm saying like all of humanity, all of human history. It appears to be a crucible, not something where there's a nice, linear, rational conclusion that we're all going to come to at some point. I really used to believe that. And maybe many thousands of years hence it will, but the depth of people's asleepness at this point is more than I realized. And not going to you can't force anyone to awaken. You can't hand anybody awakening. You can do your best to help, but then it's totally out of your hands. Um, and more people are waking up, which is, interesting. I don't know. But yeah, again, my whole point is that for me, I this here now is all that I can really be responsible for. And this here now includes what I believe my responsibility is. And some of them are relatively simple, straightforward, as a spouse, as a parent. You kind of can't get away from them. They're staring you in the face. The rest of it is more nebulous, and sometimes it's staring you in the face, and sometimes it's not clear. Sometimes even when it's staring you in the face, it's not clear because you see what needs to be done, but you don't know how to do it. You think you see what needs to be done. But for now, I feel far too half-baked to imagine I can put my finger in a pie and either know what the hell I'm doing or be able to feel this intuitive flow with what I'm doing. Because I'm in this space where there's so much heavy conditioning coming through that I'm like a lava lamp, not very stable, not very clear, but at least kind of clear on the idea that I need to be fully baked. I need to see this through, whatever it takes. And more I have a sense that my ego saying I have to withdraw from life until I fix this and figure it out. That's kind of its game right now. And seeing through that is making it easier to accept everything here now as exactly what it is. And there's no later when. I mean, there is in a sense. There's the mind has to think in terms of time, and I do feel half baked here and now. But even like being half baked is okay. Being half baked is perfect. Being half baked is not a problem because that's what's here right now. None of these feelings are problems. No matter how heavy, no matter how difficult, no matter how they feel like pushing on my chest, or it's tightening my throat, or it's churning my guts. That's fine. I'm always gonna, I mean, I have a human body, so there's gonna be churning. There's gonna be heavy sadness. There's gonna be piercing anger, disgust. And that's okay. That's totally fine. It's not a problem. It's not a problem to be human. There's no human problem. It's a crucible. It's a mess. It's an extreme sport. It's quite amazing that some lotuses do come out of this mud. And man, the mud can be, this mud can be ugly, mucky, murky, disgusting. Given my sensibilities as this apparent organism. But it's like I'm not running from it anymore. I'm not like, no, 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 but we're good inside and we're gonna raise our kids better and everything's gonna be fine. And like, another generation maybe, and those kids will take over and it'll be great. And it's like, no, not in my lifetime. I hope I'm surprised. That'd be nice. Really nice. But I'm not clinging to that as some kind of salvation. I'm not clinging to that as, you know, dig my fingernails in and see, like, okay, if that happens, then I'll be okay. No, do not count on anything from this species. And I'm pleasantly surprised sometimes, like in individual cases. I'm sometimes very pleasantly surprised, amazed. There's beautiful people in the world, for sure. And even the racists are like, they're like toddlers who kind of got caught behaving badly and kept doubling down because they don't want to be shamed for being who they are, which is frightened children, frightened, ignorant children. That's what they are. It's not a value judgment, it's a description. They're running from that. I'm not running from that anymore. I'm a frightened, ignorant child. I'm helpless. I am defenseless. I am at the mercy of forces I don't understand all the time, relative and absolute. You do your best to be upright and pay taxes and, like, feel like you're kind of in control on the good side of things. Define yourself against people who aren't. And then shovel all your crap onto them. Say they're the problem. I did what I was supposed to do. I mean, I do think people are good at heart. I don't think anyone's trying to hurt anyone. I shouldn't say anyone, but by and large, people are not trying to hurt anyone. They just don't know what they're doing. They just got caught in some developmental level that is cognitively egocentric and mentally rigid, and it has monstrous results. And that includes, our elites, university presidents. Oh my God, what a bunch of fucking cowards. What a bunch of fucking losers. They can't be human. They cannot face their humanity at all. It's sad. I can face my humanity. I am a frightened, helpless, ignorant child. And I think I'm on the way to forgiving myself and everyone else for that. But which forgiveness? What is that? The duality with blame. I'm heavy on the blame, and then I can sort of like maybe try the forgiveness or whatever, and eventually it balances out and cancels each other because it just doesn't matter. Forgiveness, blame, they co-arise. Stuff's just happening. And it could change on a dime. So what's left? This here now. Intuition, integrity. So yeah, there's no solution for the problem of humanity. My only solution seems to be to solve as well as I can for myself, and, and that's it. And I think that's what Angelo means when he says things get very simple. It's not about, I'll figure it out and I'll fix it. It's just about what's here now. And just being as honest, as brutally honest as you can about that. And what's the point of that? Well, for me, the point is I've always been interested in truth, hewing as closely as I can to it. And I've always not enjoyed suffering, not enjoyed inauthenticity, including my own. So it's very simple. How do I suffer less? Well, this seems to be the most promising avenue. And when it comes time to die, I'll be ready for it. Not resentful, not frightened. I had the gift of this life. Have. I hope I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. But at the point of death, I can say, yes, I have the gift of this life. Now I have the gift of this death, and there's nothing to be upset about, other than maybe the fact that other people still suffer, and I remember what that's like. Um, and I don't wish it on anyone, but I don't know. I can't. I can try to I can try to tell a story, rationalize why people have to suffer. I don't know why people have to suffer, but I can solve for me, and if benevolence flows from that, then great. But trying to fix the universe when I feel like a mess myself seems a bit like trying to have an alibi, trying to prove my worth, trying to make the world safe for me instead of trying to make myself safe for the world. It's like, I think it was Ramana Maharshi who said, don't go out and cover the whole world with leather, just wear shoes. And I used to think that was a bit callous. It's like, oh, you only care about your own suffering. But it's not really caring about someone else's suffering to try to cover them in leather so that you feel more comfortable. That's not really that's not really unconditional love. Unconditional love is, first of all, starts with yourself. Second of all, accepts people exactly where they are. Doesn't try to cover them with leather to make yourself more comfortable. When you're wearing shoes, you don't need to change anybody. You're already good. You're out of the way. So yeah, it's pretty simple, at least for the moment. Um, could change, but that's where things stand right now. And if you have any thoughts or any counterpoints or any other perspectives, always welcome. Because like whatever perspective I take, it's temporary, provisional, subject to causes and conditions. Um, yeah, there's nothing that I'm like I'm sticking my flag here and nobody can disagree with me. Like and it's not like even if you have your say, I'm gonna be like, oh, well, maybe I will be like, oh yeah, that actually makes more sense. But it could be like we just have two different vantage points and they're equally valid. So there's just kind of like no pressure, no stress at this point. There's no ideology that I'm defending. I'm just fucking around with ideas and words and thoughts, and I enjoy it. And I enjoy engaging with other thoughtful people. So, yeah, cheers.